Good afternoon, good evening, guys. Happy Tuesday. Mr. Alting here to help you with the homework. I want to talk about problem number 6 today. If you were good in class, you might have noticed these problems are a little harder in that all of them have something in common except for the first two. I have not told you what y is equal to. You know that if I solve for y, if I know what y is, then I can plug that into my second equation. But I have not told you what y is. You're going to have to find it yourself. But then again, it might not be y you're looking for now. It might be x. It just depends. Guys, the key thing is for you to be able to look at this system right here and decide what variable would be easiest to get by itself. And the answer to this question is y in this case, because y is mostly by itself already. If you think about it, all I have to do to isolate y in this equation, if I copy it down here, negative 5x plus y equals negative 2. The only thing I have to do to get y by itself is just to get rid of minus 5x. And I can do that by adding 5x to each side. I'll do that in just a moment. But if I was trying to solve for x, I would have to subtract y and then divide by 5. If I tried to solve for either x or y in the second equation, again, I'm going to have 2 steps. And then I run the risk of also having fractions in my problem. Yuck. I don't necessarily want that, so very, very important that we know what variable to get by itself first. In this case, we're going to do y. But let's take a look at some of the other problems on our homework. If we look over here, I've got y and y by itself. Those are good. But if I look at 3, look, there's only one variable that's by itself already, kind of, y. Same thing here in 4. Y is what we're solving for. In number 5, I would actually say that x is the only variable that's close to being by itself. It's not always y. In number 6, we just talked about y is obviously by itself. You're going to keep going with that. Follow that pattern. Always solve for the variable that's easiest. In other words, the variable that doesn't have a coefficient like our y right here. Again, we were in the middle of solving for y. Let's go ahead and finish that problem. If I solve for y correctly, and I add 5x to each side of this equation, I should get y is equal to negative 2 plus 5x. Guys, after you know what y is equal to, this is the heart of substitution. If this y is negative 2 minus, or excuse me, if this y is negative 2 plus 5x, then so is this y. Y is equal to y. Therefore, if y is equal to negative 2 plus 5x, that means this y is also negative 2 plus 5x. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that second equation. Do that in a different color. But instead of y, I'm going to substitute. I'm going to replace y with what it's equal to, negative 2 plus 5x. Be sure to put this in parentheses, because since we're multiplying y by 6, I need to multiply everything that y is equal to by 6. In other words, I'm going to need to distribute. If you don't put it in parentheses, you might forget that step. You might forget to do it. Anyways, if I go ahead and try it, this is what I do. Get negative 3x plus, I get minus 12. I'll go ahead and put that in parentheses. Plus 30x equals negative 12. I'm going to do 2 steps at once. I'm going to add 12 to the other side, which is actually going to give me 0. And then I'm going to do 30x minus 3x is 27x. Don't freak out if you ever see a problem like this. This is good. Think about it. 27 times what is 0? Correct answer there is 0. Another way to do this, divide each side by 27. You still get 0 divided by 27 is 0. X is 0. Now, how do I find y? Notice my original equations aren't much help because y is not by itself. So if I just plug in 0, for example, for x here, I might have to do a little bit of extra work. Whereas if I look right here, this equation that I came up with might be a little easier. You just need to plug in 0 for x. 5 times 0 is 0 plus negative 2. It looks like y is equal to negative 2. X is equal to 0. Feel free to write that as an ordered pair, and you guys got it. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email tonight or submit a question. Tomorrow, guys, I'll be collecting this homework since I will not actually be there. I will see you Thursday. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thanks.